say, as far as Caucasus,
okay.
Caesar Borgia. Because the brother looked just like Caesar Borgia.
That was funny. The picture you posted, that was funny. I can't say that motherfucker.
Caucasus, bruh, you know, when it comes to this text, you can't deal with me on no type of basis, no level, scholarly, none of that.
Ask the streets.
Ask the streets. Ask the streets.
I like that one.
Yeah, it's all on the man in the mirror. Cause a bitch, I'm trying my best not to come near. Lord, forgive me for my sins, I know I'm a sinner. Can't trust the soul, we all got on the man in the mirror. Yeah, it's all on the man in the mirror. Cause a bitch, I'm trying my best not to come near. Lord, forgive me for my sins, I know I'm a sinner. Can't trust the soul, we all got on the man in the mirror. I look at myself and I see a king. These niggas want water, we bring it, little bitch, we like Lord of the Rings. I'm working, a workaholic, I'm a fiend. My teacher said I won't be shit, I was always in front of the thing. I put in so much effort, bitch, I've been a ruler, I ain't trying to measure. Dropping weight up on these niggas at the weight applying hella pressure. Hustle, fuck the weather, getting to the cheddar, feeling like Chester. Niggas dried in the desert, I be grinding, trying to live my life better. I know that somebody is watching me, wanna know everything in my biography. I'ma keep on going, ain't no stopping me. Come at me wrong, then I'm calling my colony. Bitch, I'm independent, ain't no dropping me. Numbers on me like I'm playing the lottery. Split a nigga apart like apostrophe. Come at me proper when you want my property, bitch. Yeah, it's all on the man in the mirror.
And you know, I guess you gotta clear the air, kind of what's going on, man. What's up?
Oh yeah. You know, me and Vocab had ended up doing a debate, and so Vocab, he handled the truth pretty well, so you know, he's a cool brother. You know, I share information with other brothers, you know, Lido, you know, other people. I read for West Doctrine too, you know what I'm saying? We disagreed on some stuff, but I read for him. But anybody that's dealing with truth, you know, I'm pro-righteous, you know what I'm saying, before anything, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody is dealing with truth and they dealing with the One West camps like we dealing with them because they telling us we can't get in, you know what I'm saying? And I believe my ancestors is from Ham, so, you know, I gotta defend that. And so Vocab, he believed that he comes down from Japheth, so he's gonna defend that. So when we come together, that's what we come together to do.
So let me ask you a question. The ISUPK are telling that Ham and Japheth can't get into heaven.
Right.
There's no salvation. Okay, so that brings another perspective to the argument then. Because they are kicking you out too, because you said you have Hamite.
Right.
So that means they talking about. Okay, so that would justify why you would ally with the white guy, even though he's a white guy, but that because they kick both y'all out anyway.
Right, and so we share something mutually, and that's the gospel. Because when you say you teaching this Bible, and you say that you are a priest, right?
Right.
Our sole job is we have the ministry of reconciliation, and that's to reconcile people back into the Father, back into God. And so that's what we're called to do. So we're priests, or we're master builders. So we're to build mankind. And so we don't have any respect of persons, nor do we judge partially. Because our job is to get people back to a state of mindset to where they can spiritually conquer their thoughts and different lusts and different things within their mindset, and then materialize that in the very material world. And so these guys, they don't teach that. They so natural. So when me and Vocab, we join together, we're teaching the gospel. We're preaching the gospel. We're reconciling all men back into God, because we can't be going around with the same type of reasoning to where we're ruling and conquering over each other and killing each other by natural means and resources, rather than building each other up spiritually, so we can also conquer as a whole the very physical world and bring forth, what's supposed to be brought forth in the earth, which is peace and balance and order. You know what I'm saying? And we believe that we're doing that by way of the Bible.
So with the black Hebrew Israelites, they say that only the children of Israel are allowed into heaven. Are the white Israelites saying that also, or the white Jews? Or do they have the same doctrine? Is their doctrine saying that?
Well, what's crazy is because you have I think, Lito, you know about it, the Israelite British.
Yeah,
British Israelites that have the same doctrine as the black Hebrew Israelites. It's the same thing. And so I think that you have, even from a Christian perspective, you have white Christians, I wouldn't even say Christians, because anybody that's saying that this person can't get in because of they're this color, you're not a true believer, because the language don't teach that, nor do the book teach that. Okay. So I think that the whole thing, you do have these guys teaching that. So then when you got multicultural brothers that come together because they see the truth in the book and they want to give it to the people and push it, we're teaching against that. And so we have to come against what the One West is teaching, what British Israelites is teaching and so that's what we do. But we're doing it what's in our neighborhoods right now, because this is going on in our neighborhoods, to where we see the Latinos, the blacks, and the Hispanics Puerto Ricans are being targeted towards to believe that we this dominant people and that other people can't share what we share within this book, which is universal. And for all men we believe, and we're the holders of that truth.
So have you all had any encounters with the British Israelites that had the same doctrine that the American black Israelites have?
Well, actually, I haven't encountered none of those guys, actually.
Has Vocab Malone had?
I don't know if Vocab Malone have.
Because he was asked a question, and he never really did answer it, because he was asked why did he found it important to attack the black Israelites over the so-called Jews that's in the land or whatever, or the fake Israelites that he knows is supposed to be fake or whatever, with white descent. And so, but I get that he attacking because they saying he can't get into heaven, but the black people not the only ones saying that. That's what I'm saying. So has he ever said anything about going against the white people? With that same
probably on the internet wise, if they're not teaching the gospel, probably so. And I think he gave them I want to say like 5 radio shows or something that they can go on and actually view, to where he's getting at this way of thought of thinking. But here's the issue between those white Israelites, or whatever they are, whatever they call themselves to be. The issue is that they're not on the street corners like the black Hebrew Israelites is, calling people stanky booty Africans. You can look at the ISUPK down there in St. Louis. We got them on record doing it. They're not on in Harlem. And ISUPK ain't doing that in Harlem, because hey, look, black people ain't going for that. They're not doing that, like ISUPK and IUIC and these different extreme Israelite groups is doing. So that's the difference. So if I'm in my city and I stay in a neighborhood to where it's not white people, and I gotta walk past these people all the time teaching this mess, I'm gonna encounter them first. Like me for instance, I'm not preaching to white people because I'm not really around white people. Now, if I happen to come in the area where white people is, and I can say something to them, then I will teach them. Or if they want to go watch my videos on Facebook, or YouTube. But if I'm not in that area, then I'm gonna deal with my people who I'm in that area with, especially if I have a problem with what they're teaching according to this book.
Okay, so what you're saying basically, not saying that you answer for vocab, but you saying basically that the black Hebrew Israelites in America, they make themselves available to be attacked.
Right.
And versus the white people not really putting themselves out there to be attacked, and so it's not a conversation about them.
Right, because you don't see them, like for instance, if the KKK came in the neighborhood, we got to deal with that. They're in the neighborhood. We got these brothers every day, if not every day, in the neighborhoods, on these street corners, bad in scholarship, bad in biblical theology. Historical historical evidence is just ridiculous.
Okay.
And so overall, it's just like you're countering Eurocentrism with Afrocentrism, which is really ridiculous to me because we want to put history back in its perspective and where the truth need to be at, not try to blackwash or whitewash everything.
Right.
So you can't counter white supremacy with the same type of things that they're doing.
Okay. Let's try this out real quick. Let's put this in perspective. UISUPK. Why? And now put yourself in their shoes. Why do you say the white man is the devil?
Because of, his actions. When you describe him, what he's doing, what is his actions on the streets? Kill, murder, deceit, lying, destructive. These are all actions of what we would call Ha-Satan, or either the adversary, Satan, the accuser.
Okay.
So this is all the things that the accuser do. And so if I was ISUPK, I would look at it and say, the white man is the devil. But then on the contrary, I had to look and say, and looking from my perspective and say, well, hold on for a minute. Are you lying? Are you destroying? Are you stealing? Are you turned down? And if you're doing the very same thing, then you yourself are a product, or you are just as well the devil. So both parties are being deceived. Deception is taking place. So they're warring against each other with the same type of actions of what we would describe as being a devil.
Okay. And so, like, I guess ISUPK, the captain, he had a problem with you reading for Vocab Malone. Is it a rule against that?
Well, there's no. First of all, I understand that the only reason why I was on that panel was because of Vocab. Now remember, I've been trying to get at these dudes for the longest about what they was teaching. Have I not, Bleedo?
Yes.
Even Bleedo.
This before Vocab.
Even when what's his name? The brother Josh was over there beating up on them and their doctrine. We still been trying to get at these brothers, but because Vocab had a bigger name than what we had, and they had already been emailing them and inboxing them, according to what happened with the James White thing. So when I hooked Joel up with Vocab because I seen Joel making a video about Vocab, and I said, oh, I know Vocab, I can link y'all up, and maybe you can interview him. He said, oh man, that'd be cool. So I said, okay, let's do that. So we did it. Shout out to Joel Benjamin 528 just as well. So we did it, we set it up. I didn't know that they was already in the brother's inbox trying to get at the brother Faraz Hashar and Daniela. Already in Vocab's inbox trying to debate the dude and trying to get at him. I didn't know that. So when Vocab had his interview, it's like, okay, he did his interview. I stayed up out the way. He did his interview. Then they came and called some days later, like, hey, what's going on? Call up Vocab. We need to set something up, get a debate. Vocab asked them, do they want to do it openly, or can we just have this discussion on which I agree on? We can have this discussion right now, probably on which I disagree with what I'm teaching. They said openly, right? So when they said openly, they wanted it to be a 2-on-2, because evidently Hashar and Daniela wanted to get at Vocab. If you notice the presentation, it was geared personally towards Vocab, not even on a scholarly level or dealing with biblical theology, but just solely alone on personal attacks. Yeah. So when that took place, when me and Vocab came in there, I said, well, okay, y'all know me, I too much, I ain't good at time debates. Y'all know that, what I'm saying? I'd rather have a discussion. So I'm like, okay, well, I ain't trying to have no debate, I have a discussion. Okay, so we did the minute thing. So Vocab had all his information already together, and I did. That's why when I went on my round, what was supposed to take place was I felt like let's do the answers and questions, because you know that's what I do.
Yeah.
I want to get to, let's question this person. Let me question what you dealing with.
Right.
Let Vocab deal with that other stuff, because he can spit that stuff fast. So when we came in there, I read for him because I had all the stuff already there on my phone. So all he had to do was just tell me to go to it, and he read it. He deal with that. My portion was questions. When the questions come, I know how to back people down. That's why they wouldn't engage in the questions, because they knew if they engage in them questions, now we getting up into your mentality now. Now we getting up into your spiritualism now. And so they knew that. So that's why they was like, no follow-up questions. Well, why not? So when that took place, that kind of like booted me up out of the place. Now, when it was time for me to do my portion, as far as to read, I didn't have nothing put together. That's why I was rambling. If you look at it, I'm rambling through stuff, and it's taking me long to get there because I didn't have nothing. Had I would have had my stuff put together, I had already had vocab stuff already. And number one, it wasn't really about me, and I understood that. And y'all seen that it wasn't about me because they kept attacking vocab. So I was just there due to the fact of vocab. I understood that. I had been trying to get at them guys already. They never responded back. And I responded to them guys openly. I'm known in the conscious community just as well. Amongst Sinetta, Real Black Atheists. I've been on their platforms, Team Osiris. I've been on their platforms over and over again, to where they know me, you know what I'm saying?
It's like they use you to bring vocab and ambush you.
Right. Right, so
they came out the bushes on it. So, but don't like for a question though, what type of questions would you have asked that you didn't get to ask? That would have backed them in the corner.
I think that when we went to that Romans, which he put it on the table right there. Who was the book of Romans written to? Okay. You know, if Paul is writing to these people, he says, which are Israelites according to my flesh. He said that he can wish that he is accursed for his kinsmen, which are Israelites according to his flesh, right? So that means if I'm sitting here and I'm writing to you, right, and you're my peoples, why would I be telling you which are Israelites according to my flesh? You would already know that. I shouldn't even have to word that like that. So the question I asked him was who was Paul writing to? Because if he was writing to Israelites, why would he word that way? Why would he say, I wish I could be accursed for my kinsmen, which are Israelites, according to the flesh, to whom pertaineth the adoption, the giving of the law, and the services, and all of those things? Why would he say that? I wouldn't write to you, Bleedo, if you was my peoples, saying you look at me like, dang, dude, what you tripping out for? Right. So I asked him that, and he gave his position up, because when he gave his position up, the one thing he said was, you take me as somebody else. I never said that. I know that there wasn't the northern tribe or they wasn't Israelites that was writing that. Well, if it wasn't, then he was writing to non-Israelites. Why is he writing to non-Israelites if they can't get the gospel? If they can't get to something that pertains to Israel? What's the purpose of writing to them? To say, I just want to brag to you about what we got? That's retarded, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was the deal, man.
Okay, is there anywhere in the Bible that says anybody who can go to heaven or can get salvation?
If you a sinner,
is there any people who got like specific people, any specific nation that they say can get salvation? If you are a wicked person or a wicked nation, you can't get salvation because that's based on what? Like what would make this nation wicked? I mean, like, is it a scripture in the Bible that say this nation of people are wicked? They gonna always be wicked. They ain't going.
Well, it's dealing with somewhat of what you call the Amalekites, Amalek, or either some of the Edomites and some of the Canaanites. These nations have proved themselves over and over again to just not want to do right. So, in order for them to be saved and come over to Israel, they have to leave their name. See, it's really about leaving your name. Your name is very important. So, to leave your name and come with somebody else is dishonorable among different cultures of people. That's just like you asking me to leave Campbell know what I'm saying, and come over to your side. Then my legacy as a Campbell is what my family tree is gone.
Exactly.
So that's what he's asking you. He's saying, look, unless you leave this name for us being a Canaanite, Amalek, Moab, I'm saying these different people, then you gonna get conquered and you gonna be deceased. Now, when it deals with some of the cultures that he have, that he tells them that they can keep their name, then it's in the Bible. Like we know that people gonna have their boundaries in their land of their name. Isaiah 19 is one of them. When you say the Assyrian, the Israelite, and also the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? These people gonna have their name and their boundaries. It's about boundaries. Respect my place, I respect yours.
Right.
That's something that we have to learn, but good communication will establish that.
So
I don't think it's. I don't think it's a scripture or nothing in there that says no other nation can receive salvation. In that sense, I don't believe it say that.
So it's nothing that's specific to any other nation saying you can't.
No, I don't think it's a verse in there. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's no verse in there that says no, because it say the Bible say God is not a respecter of persons. So by God not being a respecter of persons, any nation that follows the will of God can receive salvation. So no matter what nation you from or what tribe you from, if you do the will of God, you can be accepted.
Right.
You can receive salvation. I think that's what he was asking you. I believe that's how you asking.
That's kind of what I was asking.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say if it's saying in the Bible that these specific nations don't or can't receive salvation, then how would that translate today? And who would these people be? And so and then that would mean that what ISUPK is saying is got some validity to it, and maybe it's just not being translated right.
Right. And that's just not the case. Like when you look at the Bible, he says that he's no respecter of person. Anybody that comes to him and turn from their wickedness and do according to what his instructions is, his teaching is, he's willing to accept. Matter of fact, he even said that he wants us to be converted with the mindset of a child, because a child, they not gonna come up to you and say, oh, you black, I'm gonna come and kill you, or you white, I'm gonna come and kill you, you Chinese, I'm gonna come and kill you. They all gonna get along. They may have some things about boundaries, or some of them may do some self-esteem, but they can be taught the proper way. So you want your mind to be converted as a child so you can be taught the proper way. You know, and that's the whole thing. That trained mindset of ISUPK is a state of naturalism. You know what I'm saying? And to them it's not really about color, it's just really about Israel, right? But God is not gonna wait thousands of years for Israel to get it right. He still had a program that he had to continue to get these other nations to be saved and offer them salvation, so when they stand before the Father, it's no excuse why they didn't know or couldn't come into the fold, because they was given that from those who had the ministry of reconciliation, which is the real priests and master builders. So Zaryak now, anybody can be out there feeding or doing this and that. You got white people do that all day long. They'll feed you, they'll come into your neighborhood the next minute and control it with they with all types of armies and all types of stuff. They do it in other nations. So they feed and do all of that. So that's not it. If you say that you are a son of Elohim, or you are a ruler or a judge, then you can't judge partially. You have to judge spiritually and by the heart. You can't judge somebody because you feel that they are another nation. What about Naaman? Was Naaman the Syrian? Was he an Israelite? And he was how many lepers was in Egypt at that time? The Bible says almost a lot of it. It was many lepers that was in Egypt. But until Naaman was the only one that was here that's been a leper. And so that should show you that these brothers need to stop getting on their Jonah mindset, where Jonah was told to go talk to those that was in Nineveh to restore them because they needed to repent, and they was offered to all types of stuff. Jonah got mad because they wasn't Israel, so to speak, or whatever Jonah was, or they wasn't his peoples. So whenever you hating, you gonna be in the belly of hell. Put them in the belly of hell, in the well. So something big gonna overtake you. So Jonah had to come up out of that mindset. It's bigger than you, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than ISUPK, but it's all about ISUPK to them. Even when you talk about other Israelite groups. If you ain't ISUPK, then you ain't teaching the truth. That's what they say.
I'm gonna keep it real though. How James White did GOCC Elder Gabar. And when you get into a lot of conversations with these other Hebrew-like camps, man, I'm not with none of that. I might have to agree with them, man. I should be hold it down, man.
I ain't getting that.
I mean, you know, you had the other dudes, man, that wear the purple, right? They say it's okay to rape kids.
Right.
Then you got the other guys, they get beat up by white people all the time. GOCC. Then you got these other groups, they just not holding it down like ISUPK, man. So when they say we the home of the truth, when it comes to this thing, man, how you gonna argue against that and these other guys not holding it down?
Well, ISUPK, first of all,
you see what I'm saying? No, am I saying something?
Right, I see what you're saying, but I respect them for us on the.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me throw the Gorilla Hebrew in there and Sakari. I like them brothers. They get down too. I think they might as well be ISUPK.
Right.
They the same type of people. You know what I'm saying? They the same guys.
Right. Now here's the thing. I respect those brothers on a
Gorilla or the
ISUPK and Sakari say. I respect them on a militant type of level.
I love that shit.
Yeah, that's what's up. Because they got it in order. But when it comes to them brothers on biblical theology,
okay,
on what the book is saying, scholarship,
okay,
not there.
Okay.
So when you step into a James White, a Nasir Savelle, Vocab Malone, any one of these brothers that actually dealing with the Greek, because Vocab deal with the Greek, or dealing with the Zion, with the Hebrew, you better know what you're talking about. If you step to as much as me and Divine Ryan Prospect don't get along, if you step to him, you better have it together scholarly, because he's dealing with the scholarship. So on that level, a lot of them guys are ignorant and say stuff like in that debate, Hashar was talking about apologia, not realizing that when it means to answer in 2 Timothy 2 and 15, or 1 Timothy 2 and 15, the Greek word apologia is there. So he's arguing against the word apologia because we say that we apologists when the Greek word is actually there. So that's the problem with these guys. It's a lack of scholarship. Like when I say, they say, well, Christ went into Egypt, so he was black, and he blended in.
It makes sense to me if that's what it says.
Right, but when you, on the scholarship level, when you trace it back, what black people was in Egypt at that time? Because even David Banner had enough sense to say, at that time when he went into Egypt, guess who was ruling Egypt? The Arabics. So therefore, he's blending in with people that look like him because they Semitics. Or you might have some Afro-Asiatics, you might got your Coptics down there. But Egypt ain't been black for a while. Why? Because they pushed them around the 31st dynasty back into the South. Right. So now you got people that's in the South, and then even with that, because it's so watered down in the East and in the North Africa, you ain't seeing a majority of black people. So in that time, you would have never seen, it's just all black people down there. So that argument within itself is just retarded. So when you talk about scholarship and biblical theology, and when you talk about exegeting the passages, these brothers can't do it for us.
If you have questions that you would like to ask the streets, contact us at askthestreetsmedia@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.